the sports world was absolutely rocked. Caitlin Clark, the phenom, the record breaker, the face of a new era in women's basketball, has filed a lawsuit. Not against a rival player directly, but against Angel Reese's mother, Angel Reese. This is a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. The allegations are heavy hate speech and defamation. This isn't just about basketball anymore, this has escalated into a legal firestorm. Caitlin Clark is sending a clear message. She's saying her reputation, her brand, her emotional well-being have been significantly damaged, and she's holding Angel Reese's mother directly accountable. This move has sent shockwaves not just through the WNBA, but across the entire sports landscape. The implications are massive. You have two of the brightest young stars in basketball, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, now entangled in a legal battle involving family. The lawsuit claims that comments made by Angel Reese caused significant emotional distress and irreparable harm to Clark's meticulously crafted image. The sports community is holding its breath. This lawsuit has added an entirely new and frankly troubling dimension. The drama has officially gone nuclear, and the fallout is something we will be watching very, very closely. To understand the current inferno, you gotta go back. We're talking about the 2023 NCAA Women's Basketball Championship game, LSU versus Iowa. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, two titans, clashing on the biggest stage. But it wasn't just the game, it was the gesture. Angel Reese, in the heat of victory, taunting Caitlin Clark, the "you can't see me" hand wave pointing to the ring finger. That single act, replayed endlessly, dissected from every angle, became the foundation of this ongoing saga. For Angel Reese, it was a moment of triumph. For Caitlin Clark, it was a moment of defeat, compounded by a very public taunt. The reactions were immediate and intense. Many lauded Reese's competitive fire, but a significant portion of the public saw it as unsportsmanlike. The tension didn't dissipate after college, it carried right over into the professional ranks. Every time Clark and Reese were set to face off, that NCAA moment was the backdrop. The WNBA found itself navigating a rivalry laden with complex emotions and racial undertones. The NCAA tournament flashpoint wasn't just a one-off incident, it was the prologue to a much larger, more complicated story. Fast forward to May 3, 2025, the WNBA season is underway and the spotlight is intense. Angel Reese's mother, Angel Reese, takes to Twitter, now X, and she drops a tweet that pours gasoline on an already smoldering fire. She wrote, "All that certain fan base looking in the stands celebrating attendance while others are looking up in the rafters, celebrating championship banners. We ain't the same. Different years, same haters. Have a great day." This was a direct shot. Caitlin Clark's games with the Indiana Fever were drawing massive crowds. Meanwhile, Angel Reese's Chicago Sky wasn't necessarily matching those specific attendance figures. The tweet was widely interpreted as a jab at Clark and her supporters. It was a calculated statement, dropped into a highly charged environment. The tweet became the centerpiece of the subsequent legal action. Now let's get down to the brass tacks of this lawsuit. What exactly is Caitlin Clark alleging? The core claims are serious defamation and hate speech. Defamation means making false statements that harm someone's reputation. Clark's camp is arguing that the comments made by Angel Reese were damaging falsehoods. This is about protecting her brand, a brand worth millions. Then there's the hate speech allegation. This implies that the comments were intended to incite hatred or prejudice against Clark. The lawsuit contends that these remarks went beyond acceptable criticism. We're talking about the mental toll this kind of public attack can take on a young athlete. The lawsuit specifically states that these comments caused significant emotional distress. This isn't just about hurt feelings. Clark's team will need to show that the statements were outrageous and made intentionally or recklessly. This is a high bar to clear, but the fact that they are pursuing it shows the perceived severity of the harm inflicted. For an athlete like Caitlin Clark, reputation is everything. The lawsuit aims to quantify that damage and seek compensation for it. My take: Stephen A. Smith on the glaring racial dynamics. You cannot discuss this situation without addressing the elephant in the room race. When Angel Reese taunted Caitlin Clark in that NCAA championship game, the backlash she received was swift and severe. A lot of it came from white fans and commentators who suddenly had a problem with trash talk they'd ignore or even celebrate from other athletes. It was a glaring double standard. Angel Reese, a black woman, confident and unapologetic, was perceived differently than if a white athlete had done the exact same thing. And that dynamic has persisted. It has followed both of these talented young women into the WNBA. The way fans rally, the way media frames their interactions, the way their personalities are dissected. Race is playing a role. When Angel Reese's mother tweeted about a certain fan base celebrating attendance while others celebrate championships, many saw that as touching on these very same racial and demographic fault lines. It's not just about Iowa fans versus LSU fans or Indiana Fever fans versus Chicago Sky fans, it often mirrors broader societal divisions. This isn't about saying who's right or who's wrong in the taunting or the tweeting, it's about acknowledging the context. We need to be mature enough to have this conversation honestly and openly. Fan wars and media storms, a WNBA community under pressure. The fallout from this escalating feud has sent tidal waves through the WNBA community and its fan base. You've got fans digging in, taking sides, sometimes viciously. Social media platforms have become battlegrounds. It's created a palpable divide, a chasm that seems to grow wider with each new headline. This is not healthy for the league, not in the long run. The media has been all over this story, but there's a responsibility that comes with that coverage. Sometimes the relentless focus on the off-court theatrics can overshadow the incredible basketball being played. There are phenomenal athletes in the WNBA, putting on a show night in and night out. Yet too often the narrative gets hijacked by the personal disputes. Within the WNBA itself, you can feel the pressure. This isn't just about two players anymore, it's about the entire ecosystem of women's professional basketball. The passion is there, the talent is undeniable, but this cloud of controversy hangs heavy. The hate factor RG3's theory and the narrative battle. Adding another layer to this already complex situation is the commentary from figures like Robert Griffin III, RG3. He put forth a theory that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. Now, hate is a strong word, but RG3's assessment resonated with a segment of the audience. And when Angel Reese's mother posted her now infamous tweet, many saw it as further evidence supporting RG3's hate theory. This hate narrative has taken root in parts of the public consciousness. It frames the interactions between the two players in a particularly negative and personal light. This kind of narrative is incredibly difficult to dislodge once it gains traction. It fuels the fan wars and makes any sort of reconciliation seem almost impossible to achieve. Interestingly, there have also been attempts to construct a counter-narrative. A narrative suggesting that Caitlin Clark's fans are systematically harassing Angel Reese. This highlights the battle over perception, the struggle to control the story. The truth might be more nuanced than any single narrative can capture. On-court resilience versus off-court turmoil, the WNBA's balancing act. Despite the swirling vortex of off-court drama, Caitlin Clark is still performing at an exceptionally high level on the basketball court. This speaks volumes about her mental fortitude. It's a testament to her professionalism and her dedication to her craft. Many athletes would crumble under this kind of intense personal scrutiny, but Clark seems to be using the court as her sanctuary. However, the question remains, how long can this resilience last if the turmoil continues to escalate? The WNBA is trying to showcase its incredible talent and grow its audience, but this saga risks overshadowing the positive stories the league has to tell. The league itself is in a delicate position. On one hand, the rivalry and the personalities involved have brought unprecedented attention and viewership to the WNBA. Ratings are up, attendance is booming in many markets, but the downside is that this attention is increasingly focused on conflict rather than competition. The WNBA has to be careful that this all press is good press mentality doesn't lead to a situation where the brand becomes associated more with drama than with elite athletic achievement. The hope is that their on-court brilliance will eventually eclipse the off-court controversies. A call for focus. Let the game speak louder than the drama. This entire situation, this legal battle between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese's mother, this endless cycle of social media commentary and fan outrage, it's become a circus. The main event here is supposed to be basketball. Elite, high-level, incredibly skilled women's basketball. We have some of the best athletes in the world competing in the WNBA, and their talents deserve to be the primary focus. I understand passion, I understand rivalry, these are integral parts of sports. But there's a line, and when that line is crossed, we've ventured into territory that ultimately harms the sport. It harms the athletes involved, it harms the league, and it disappoints the millions of fans who genuinely love the game. My plea is for a return to sanity. Let the players settle their scores through their play. Let basketball, not lawsuits, be the ultimate decider.